So now for all these examples, I know that part A was covered in the video, but I just want to go through this again. Do you have it in the form y equals to mx plus c? So look carefully. Let's start with the left-hand side of the equal sign. Did it start with y? It did. Y equals to. What comes next? M. M, as mentioned, it is just a number. It is called the coefficient of x. We have it. Multiplied by x. We have it. Plus c. We have it. It is in the format already. Y equals to mx plus c. And now we can state the gradient. The gradient is referring to the value of m, meaning the coefficient. In this case, the coefficient is 2/3. So my gradient is 2/3. It is a positive number. Therefore, I know it slopes up. That is the direction. It slopes up. But because 2/3 is a rather small number, I draw a gentle slope. Next is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the constant term. The term that does not have x, referring to the positive 5. So the y-intercept is 5. With this, I am able to sketch my curve, my graph already. I am going to be drawing a diagonal line passing through 5. So it looks like this. It is not required in this particular question, but the sketch looks like this. X and y axis sloping up, passing 5. This is the graph of y equals to 2/3 x plus 5. Next case, is this going to be a straight line? So again, find the y-intercept, gradient, and direction. Let's check. Is the format the same? Y equals to mx plus c. First, we start off with y. Yes, it is the same. Equals, same. I'm expecting mx. But this equation in part B carries on with -4. I wanted an mx, but they did not give me an mx. Is that a big problem? How do we overcome this problem? I want to see mx. Can simply change the position. What kind of logic are we using? Hey, -5 minus 3. Isn't it the same as -3 minus 5? It's the same, right? So we can simply rewrite. It's called rewriting this to become y equals to -x/2 minus 4. They are the same. So stare closely at it. The red color one is the same as the original equation. Can you see that? And now I have my x term coming first. And I have the constant term, which is -4, coming last. But do I really have y equals to mx plus c? Where m is the coefficient of x. I keep saying coefficient of x, the number in front of x. What is the number in front of x over here? I can see my x term. It is -x/2. This is my x term. What is the coefficient of x here? Anybody knows? What is the coefficient of x? So let's do some examples real fast. It serves as a recap as well. State the coefficient of x for the following terms. The first one, let's start with a simple one, 4x. What is the coefficient of x? 4, simple. -12x. What is the coefficient? -12. What if I put it this way, -x/2? Are these two the same? -12x and -x/2, are they the same thing? They are the same thing. So what is the coefficient of x? Same, -12. So what happens if I have -x/5? What is the coefficient of x? -1/5. What about 3x/2? What is the coefficient of x? 3 over 2. How do we do that? We just rewrite it to become 3 over 2x. Even if we have what appears to be more complicated, negative 5x over 7. This is simply negative 5 over 7x, and our coefficient is negative 5 over 7. So this is our recap on coefficients. What then is the coefficient in part B? What then is the coefficient of the highlighted portion? Negative half. That is our gradient. Is this a positive or negative number? Negative, so it has to slope down. What is the y-intercept? Negative 4. If I want to sketch the graph, it is very easily done. It slopes down and it cuts at negative 4. Negative 4 obviously is at the bottom. Cut down. So I have the graph y equals to negative half x minus 4. And you can see that I wasn't very careful for my intercept. Must be exact. Now the next case, part C. V equals to 24 minus 3t. Let us compare it with y equals to mx plus c. So by now you should be comfortable with algebra. You should know that letters in algebra simply represent things. So x and y, they are representing variables. We can easily give them other names, A, B, V, T, for example. In this case, V is probably velocity, where T is probably time, probably only. So we can still compare them with the format y equals to mx plus c. Just that instead of y, we have v. So I would want to rewrite this to become v equals to negative 3t plus 24. The reason is because I want variable equals to number times variable plus number. So what then is our coefficient of the variable here? Ishan, what is the variable? Or what is the coefficient of the variable? Negative 3. And what is the y-intercept? Or vertical intercept? 24. So instead of y, we call it vertical. Because not all the questions have it in terms of x and y. So vertical would encompass all the different types of questions. So it is a line sloping downwards, pretty steep. It cuts the vertical intercept at 24. If I want to draw this graph, it will appear as such. Vertical axis for V, horizontal axis T, sloping down, passing through 24. V equals to negative 3. T plus 24. Question didn't request void, but you already have the enough information to do it. So next, this was a special case. Y equals to negative 6. Is that an x term? Compare it with y equals to mx plus c. Y equals to something times x minus 6. Y equals to mx plus c. What is the value of x? 0. Okay, there's no x. 0 times x gives us 0. That's why we can still say that it has a coefficient. Its gradient is 0. And what did I say about gradient being 0? It is? Okay, so here comes the other common mistake. When you say straight line, when you think about straight line, you are probably thinking of horizontal lines. So while it is not wrong to say that for part D, we get a straight line, you have to be more specific, because a vertical line is also a straight line, and that's not what you're talking about. You should be saying it is a horizontal line. The y-intercept, the vertical intercept in this case is negative 6. So it is basically basement 6, a horizontal line. Next, we have gradient, undefined. We have the vertical intercept to be NA, not applicable. What does this graph look like? X equals to -4. I'm just going to draw it here so that you can see everything at one time. So this X, this is Y. Log -4 looks like this. X equals to -4. There is no y-intercept. There is no vertical intercept to talk about. So there is a difference between no intercept versus intercept equals to 0. The intercept is not 0 over here. Intercept 0 refers to this point. Whereas this case describes no intercept at all. It is parallel. So this is a vertical line. I have to tell you for part F first. Is this in the form y equals to mx plus c before I release you? Is this y equals to mx plus c? No, it is not. I don't have y. I have 2y. So how? Times 2. 2 times 2 give you 1. Divide by 2. Okay, divide by 2. Y equals to 5 over 2x minus 3. Do the same for part F. I don't know why part F, then to part M. Continue with exercise 6, exercise 7 for your homework. Class 10.